Hey, good evening, folks. This is me, Alan, spending my time here in the hotel room in my business travels right now in the capital of India, Delhi. Exploring and doing a bit of research on student leadership and its importance. And I thought I should do a live session, get your opinions, feedback, comments. I know everyone in today's generation in life is of the opinion that student leadership is of critical importance, is very important, it's of paramount for every child or a student to have that particular trait in them. Before we actually even begin this discussion or this session, I would want to define the word leadership itself. What is leadership? And when I do, and even in the colleges, when I have my workshops and so on and so forth, I try to break down the word leadership into two words, and primarily I focus on the word lead. And my question to students is often, what is the meaning of the word lead? And in fact, I have to take them back to the actual definition of the meaning lead in Old English. Lead in Old English, comes from the word laedre, Laedre, which means to guide. It's like to guide someone doing something. So now, if you look at the definition of leadership, it's pretty clear, right? The definition of leadership is to guide or to lead someone. So let's say if there's a small accident that happens on the roadside, what does a normal person do versus a person who has a leadership quality? The person having a leadership quality will actually immediately run into a kind of active mode and get to that person who has suffered with an accident, try and help him, try and make something happen such that the situation does not just remain for someone else to handle. So he takes the initiative, and he's the guide right there, taking the necessary steps. So that to me is leadership at its helm, right? And that is what we expect every child, every student to grow into. Leadership is essentially a very, very important trait. So I thought I should share my little opinion about, or rather my research about, why leadership is important for students, and why it has to go hand in hand as they grow. We find that there are different behavioral patterns when it comes to students. We have students who are very shy, they're pessimistic. Some of them are very proactive. Some of them could be aggressive. Some of them impulsive. So we see different behavioral patterns when it comes to students. And in particular, as they grow, they are required to be trained to leadership, because leadership plays some sort of a critical or a crucial role when it comes to building a wholesome character or personality of a particular child or a student. So for me, I have listed down 4 important points as to being understanding as to why leadership is essentially important for students, and I'm sure many of you would agree to the same. Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for the comment. I'm only hoping that many students who actually watch this video get motivated and take that decision of learning more about leadership, regardless of the age. I think whether you are in the 8th or the 9th grade or even after, it's never too late to take up any particular trait which only adds to your personality, right? And I'm sure we all agree that leadership, having a leadership trait in you, really helps. So here are the 4 points. Number 1, leadership skills. Basically, I believe that students who possess leadership skills versus those who don't are more confident, right? And we see that very often. We can identify a confident student or a child, and we believe that the trait of leadership that they possess whether it comes naturally to them, whether it is from the environment they are grown in, the school they are kind of schooling at. It's a combination of various factors for sure. But you can actually identify students who are really, really confident. And the leadership quality brings out that confidence for sure. And they never hesitate in accepting challenges in life. You throw a little bit of challenges, when it comes to students' life, you're thrown a lot of challenges when it comes to schooling or doing your college studies. And throw a project at them, they are ready. Throw anything at them. If the school or the college demands them to go and participate in an activity or a workshop or represent the college in some form of sports activities, they are ready to take up the challenge. Even sometimes, despite the lower skill that they have, they get ready to take up the challenge. So leadership brings in a lot of confidence. Hari Saab, good evening. Thank you for that comment out there, your greeting. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. So yes, I mean, that to me is very important, one of the points. Number two, leadership skills help students to enhance their social skills. How often have we seen, students who, socially, who are very, very confident in expressing themselves, whether it comes to a performance on the stage, whether it comes to a performance at their school, whether it comes to a performance wherever they are. We always see that confident students have a very, very high rating of their social skills demonstrated in their day-to-day activities or life, right? Number three, students learn to communicate efficiently. We all have seen that. Students who are having a leadership trait or a quality, they are able to express themselves much more confidently, or rather efficiently. And we see that everywhere around us. I mean, students who outshine others are those ones who are able to express themselves. If they have a problem, they have a problem. They have a problem, but they overcome the problem because they are able to communicate. They're able to express themselves and confidently relay their challenges to others. And it's good to express at an early age, at an early point of life, because we have seen so many issues and problems around us. And the major problem is when you don't share with others your problems, or you don't express, and then it becomes a big problem. So imagine a student learning from a very young life as to how to express. That would give them a lot of confidence, right? So I believe leadership kind of trains a student to express themselves confidently, and that is one of the reasons why I believe leadership is so important. And also, leadership skills help students to make better connections with others. You see, I think if there is a kind of a requirement for a person to, let's say there's some issue in a classroom, there is some challenge that a particular child is facing. A leader in that particular audience is able to actually strive. He's able to take the leadership. He's able to reach out to others and bring together a force to help that particular child who's having a problem. So leadership skills help students to make better connections with others, for sure. I mean, whether it is teamwork, and one of the important traits of leadership is teamwork. And students who have these qualities, they do have all these essential things in them. I mean, they're good team player. They're kind of good motivators. They are good communicators. They are excellent in their level of work or their skill or their studies. So they're competent. So leadership is a wholesome meal for every child and student. Now, how do we get it to them is something that remains a question mark for us. What is your opinion about it? What is your comment about it? Shouldn't leadership be taught in school right from the beginning? Maybe even from the 5th grade or the 6th grade? I believe that leadership has to be essentially, if not let's say a full-scale subject, it should be a part of the curriculum of any growing child. I hope you enjoyed this little thought that I had for tonight, and I decided to go live to express my thoughts on paper because I had the time. As I said, I'm traveling and on a business trip, and I had the time to spend and do this with whoever is listening and whoever watches this video a little later, as I'm sure it will remain recorded. So for those who have joined in, hi Sunil, thank you for your lovely comment, mate, and welcome back to India. I believe you're back home. So yes, and so thank you very much for those comments and those who heard me live. And for those who will listen into this video, please feel free to drop your comment. My passion towards leadership, my passion towards training students on the subject leadership remains, and it's only through feedback and comments that I get from my audience that I'm able to perform better in my quest in giving. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, good night. I'm signing off now and ending this video. Ciao.